Hello everybody, this is Milagros from Binah Tarot, and I am going to be doing the tarot scopes for the 12 zodiac signs for the year of 2018. You can check your ascendant and your moon sign since it is just a general reading, and I am going to keep doing the monthly videos in regards to love. Let's begin. So I'm going to change a little bit the format I've been using for the yearly readings, and instead of doing the wheel of the year, that might have been a little bit heavy for some people to process, since it was so focused on each month and some of the months are quite far away from us. So I think that it's going to be most productive to just divide the year into halves and focus on the reading that way. So I'm going to be using the the Kingdom Within Tarot by Juno, Lucina and Shannon ThornFeather for the most general matters. And as I was mentioning, I'll be reviewing this deck because it's a very good deck if you want to mix astrological aspects with the tarot. Now, for the more financial and work-related matters, I'm going to be using the Coastal Lenormand by Melanie, which is another deck I'll be reviewing. For love matters, the Lover's Path Tarot by Kris Waldherr. As I was saying, for anything that regards love and relationships, and the Iris deck for advice and suggestions that will be handy during this year. Aquarius, this is your 2018 reading, and we are going to begin by the first part of the year, and then we're going to go to the second half of the year. We begin with work and finance related matters, and we have the Justice card next to the Three of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. The Justice card can speak to us about legal matters, things that we need to sort out in regards to contracts. If we are into some sort of trial or we have some legal process that is some legal process that we have to take care of, then this might be a focus during this period of time. It might be also something to do with a contract, a house contract, a mortgage. We see right under the Justice card a house. So it will be an important topic during this period of time. It might have to do with partnerships, with lawsuits, as I was telling, with contracts being made or contracts being broken or modified in a way. Because we have the Three of Cups right next to the Justice, it might as well represent a partnership or an association that you are part of. It might have to do with you maybe making a longer term cooperation, because we have the Lilies. We have the Lily card, and that has to do with a long term, with a foundation, with something that has potential for the future, something that a partnership that can have a future potential. It might also be a new partnership on the horizon. Maybe you are talking to people, maybe you're applying to different places, and maybe you're finally getting that work contract during this month, or you are getting that agreement that you have been trying to work on, and it will make, or it will have an impact on your finances. It can be something that you want to buy as well. It might be that you want to buy a house, probably a property, or to make some sort of investment, but that you will have to go through some negotiations. So this is one of the keys of this first half of the month, negotiations, the parts in which we will have to discuss with other people, and it's not only discussing with one person, because we have a Three of Cups. So there is more than one person that we will have to discuss with. Maybe you have to present some ideas to people at work, or maybe it has to do with the kind of relationship you have with your colleagues, and maybe getting along with them is in your best benefit, in your best interest, in order to achieve longer term goals or purposes. And then we have the Two of Pentacles, which speaks about a successful change, about you trying to make a decision, which is going to make you quite stressed at first, because we have the Mice card that speaks about stress. So this card tells that you are going to probably feel urged to make that decision. You are maybe going to feel like you are in a crossroads and you will have to make a decision, maybe not in the time that you were expecting to make it. And you will try to make the decision that is in your best interest, but it might feel like like you are not having enough time to think, and that you are having a really difficult time, because both options that you are having might be very good. Maybe you have proposals from more than one company to join one of them, and you just want to make the right decision because it is something that is going to impact your life in a longer term. So I tell you that because I see the Two of Cups being the challenge, And this, the Two of Cups has to do with relationships and with love. So it might be related to that as well. It might be related to maybe taking this work, maybe taking this contract, in some ways related to how your relationship will go. Maybe you won't have enough time to see the person that you're with. Maybe the person that you're with is not your wife, husband, or partner, is not very comfortable with that decision. Maybe she approves or not, and you want to please everybody. This card in this position also tells me that you want to please everybody. But I think that it's very, very important that you also make sure that you're pleasing yourself with this decision that you are going to make, or else it is going to be difficult, and during the next months, if it doesn't come out the way you want it, you might feel that you have to blame other people for that. So it's just better to still keep the interest of the relationship in mind, but not necessarily base your decision on that. If it doesn't have to do with a relationship, then it has to do with how hard it will be for you to make this decision in this specific time frame. Maybe you are going to have some pressure. They are going to put some pressure over you to make it, or you are going to feel yourself. Maybe you are going to put a deadline to yourself so that you can decide. I don't see financial problems precisely, because I see that you will have options. And options speak about a situation that has a potential. The mice might speak of loss of some sort. So maybe the deal that you are going to go for is going to have some catch, which I really, really suggest you to check on it, to check in every part. Especially this year, it has a lot to do with contracts and negotiations. We are so used to the paperwork that it keeps coming in readings. So just whatever you're going to sign, whatever you're going to decide, just make sure that you have read the terms properly and that you are completely sure that everything is according to how you want it to be in the first place. And if there is anything to discuss further, it's something you can do as well. In regards to love, we have the Five of Staves, Two of Coins, Magic, and the Two of Staves. So the Five of Staves speaks about conflicting energy. It might be that you are having some discussions, some misunderstandings, that there is some tension between you and your partner. Some things that are some sort of disagreements. You might feel that you disagree with your partner in a certain level. If you're single, then you might be having a difficult time with yourself being single at this period of time. You might feel that in some way, because we have the Two of Pentacles in the career, work, financial line, and we also have it in the relationship line. So for many of you, this decision that will be made in regards to career and finances, it is going to be directly related to love. We also have the Two of Cups. I mean, we have a clear connection here. And you will have to be very smart on what do you choose. It doesn't mean that you have to give something up. It doesn't mean that you have to give up spending time with the person that you are with. But it does mean that you have to compromise at a certain level. And that is a part that you are going to find that you have a difficult time with, like finding that compromise. And also there is a self-doubt idea to this. There is like you fear that you won't be able to deliver. You fear that maybe that is not what you want for a longer term. So whatever decision you are being asked to do will have a longer term impact. And you will have to in some way decide where are you standing in your current relationship, and how much or how far are you willing to compromise for this person. Eventually the decision is yours. You don't lack resources. The Magician speaks about somebody who has the resources to make the things work. So it is on you. The decision is on you. You have the power to make the decision. The other person will likely stick around if you have also her or his interest in mind, which doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do what they say. But maybe you can find somewhere in between where you can please both what you want and yourself and the other person inside the relationship. This also speaks about communication. So it is very important, and communication will be a key during this time. You will need to speak. You will need to try to find an understanding with the other person involved in order to make the situation flow. Maybe if you're feeling confused, it is not bad telling this person, look, I am confused and I need some time to think, or I need us to go through some of the things in regards to our relationships so that I know where exactly am I standing. but it is very, very important during this period of time, because that is directly related to the plans. Like the Two of Staves has to do with plans, with longer term plans, with trips. Maybe there is a trip that you want to do and you're not sure if you want this person to come along or not, or if you maybe are relocating, or the person is maybe far away from you. There are decisions that also can be involving distance in some way. In regards to the advice, we have the Messenger, and the Messenger speaks about the things that we receive, the signals in some way that life gives us, the ideas that we have, the moments in which we are most confused, which is quite suitable for this kind of reading, because there is a lot of thoughts, there is some confusion, there are decisions to be done, and this card actually is asking you to write them down on paper. To write them down on a piece of paper, write them down on a tablet, on the computer, just list the things. If you have to make a list of pros and cons of these kind of financial decisions, then it is better for you to organize them that way. This card is actually asking you to put into words whatever is in your mind, whatever is in your thoughts. And once you have put it into words and you read it and you go over it, it is going to be easier for you to process information and to understand what is better. In this case, it might sound a bit silly, it might sound a little bit old school, but actually this card is it's suggesting, it's strongly suggesting that in a moment of doubt, you should write your thoughts down and then go over them with a cool head so that you can decide according to that. For the second half of the year, we start with the Seven of Wands that speaks about resistance. It speaks about be careful during this period of time about from colds or any sort of small infection. It's one of the first things that come to mind. So be careful of your health, be careful of stress periods in which you are going to feel that you're still in some way living the anxiety that you have been going through the last months. It also speaks about being resistant to something, being resistant to change. This is next to the Strength card, which also speaks, both cards have a Leo energy. So this also can be a signal that you're going to be dealing with somebody from that sign, maybe a boss or somebody that has to do in some way with your finances or with your workspace. And you might need to be really persistent. You might need, there is something that a decision that you have to make, or a decision that this person will be making, and it will take for you to be really persistent. This person is not going to be very easy to convince of whatever you want to convince him or her. Maybe it is a project that you have in mind. Maybe it's the situation itself that it's a little bit difficult. Maybe it is a decision that you took during the past months and the new circumstances that you will have to adapt to. And you are highly adaptable, but at the same time, it might feel in the beginning that the situation is a little bit against you, which is not. It is just challenging in some ways. You might also feel that you are dealing with competition. The Seven of Wands also is a card that has to do with competition. With seeing maybe the other people around you is offering more, or it gives you the impression that they are able to offer more than what you can do. And you will have to prove your strength. You will have to prove your value in some way. You will have to prevail through the challenge. And you definitely have the strength to do it. You have, you can get the recognition. You have the creativity, and you have the ways in which you can see, in which the moon has to do with vocation, it has to do with reputation, it has to do with something that you earn. It's some sort of respect that you earn based on that decision that you will have to make, but you will have to be really persistent. Again, the Scythe card speaks about a decision that you stick to whatever happens. So it is very important that whatever, once again, I repeat myself, I might repeat myself sometimes, whatever you decide, be persistent about it, be consistent about what you want, what you need. The results are going to come as long as you keep being determined on it. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles. It's a card, it might represent somebody from an earth sign, but I think that with the star, because we have a star in that card and a star from Lenormand, it tells me that there are many good prospects for you by the end of the year. So your persistence will be rewarded with some new prospects, with some new potential situations. You might eventually decide to relocate, or you might eventually decide to go for a promotion or to take some risk. But first of all, you want to find your own foundation. First of all, after the struggle, after the decisions, you want to find again the stability within yourself so that you can make future plans. maybe during this second half of the year you're going to face some financial difficulties, because we have the Five of Pentacles as a challenge, which doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to lack money, but maybe you are going to have some more expenses to do, maybe some unexpected expenses, maybe some cuts of some sort, which are going to be solved towards the end. But again, once more, you will have to be strong and you will have to be persistent so that you can improve your situation. I see stability. I see new prospects coming your way. If you were feeling that you were running out of options, you are going to have new options towards the end of the year. So hold on, be strong and keep determined, because the new things are going to be coming up soon. In regards to love, we have the Seven of Staves, which repeats itself on the same position. Then we have the Ten of Cups. Then we have the Desire card and Contemplation. Again, we have a moment, a situation in which you will have to fight resistance. And actually, you might be the person that is resisting the change, resisting the circumstances. It feels as if you are almost in a defensive attitude. You're almost too afraid to find some sort of agreement or to accept the terms of other people, even in regards to relationships. You might be afraid that you are not going to be able to keep up with what they are asking you, or you might be able that you are going to get hurt. You might be afraid that you are not going to deliver the results that are expected from you, or that you are simply not very sure about what you want to do, and that the other person might react in some way towards you. You might also face resistance from the other person, but I feel, because the card is repeating itself, that it has to do with you mostly. Then we have the Ten of Cups, which speaks about happiness, about reunions, about reconciliations, about family meetings. This tells me that after a period in which it is going to be a little bit complicated to let somebody into your life, in case you're single, it can mean that it is difficult to let somebody into your life. In case you have a partner, then it is a moment in which you will try maybe to hold back from emotions, hold back from contact, even for a period of time, until you can regain some level of balance. Maybe you'll just want some time on your own. Then this card speaks about trying to find comfort in this person, trying to reunite with this person, trying to maybe you're going to find actually the strength to face the difficult circumstances of your finances or your career, in case you're going through that challenge. You're maybe going to find that comfort in your partner. You're maybe going to escape from that situation and go towards your relationship and try to find some support, which you will find because we have the Ten of Cups. So this is a card that actually suggests you to not see your relationship or your partner as a rival, but see it as a person that can actually help you through difficult times as well. Then we have the Desire card, and this card speaks about passion. It speaks about, again, running back or going back to somebody that you feel passionate about, spicing up the relationship in case you feel that it has fallen into routine. Maybe if you have been single, or if you broke up recently, it might be, or it might speak about still feeling attraction or desire for your ex, and maybe some encounter is in order. It also might symbolize a new person coming into your life, and it is somebody towards whom you will feel a strong desire. What we have as a challenge is the Contemplation card, which is the equivalent of the Hermit. So the challenge is going to be that sometimes you feel that you really need to be alone, that you don't need anybody, that nobody is able to help you. And that is your biggest enemy in this period of time, because in this time you will need the people. You will need that person to be next to you. You will need his or her support. Do not close yourself, not enclose yourself actually, in a space in which you will not let the person help you out. Do not push away the people that actually want to be there with you. Do not overthink, do not overanalyze. Do not just keep a distance and not take action. This card is actually asking you to take action. During the previous months, you were taking action. So during this period of time, you can also take that action. There is not necessarily need for the other person to be the one who makes the first step. You don't need to be so much within your head, in a way. Now, as the advice, we have gifts from the past. And this card has to do with answers that have been already they have already been given to you, and you might not had you maybe did not understand the message of them previously, but it speaks about life experience as well. It might speak about ancestors, for whoever believes in that, for whoever believes that you have an ancestor, you have a person who has passed, who is taking care of you, watching over you, that there is some sort of ancient knowledge or your own faith that makes you, your own faith, sorry, that you go to sometimes when you need some sort of advice. It speaks about unearthly wisdoms that are going to be handed down to the cosmic clouds. So it speaks about trying to find within your past, trying to find within your own experience the answers for how you can sort out the things now. See the things that you have done correctly, see the things that you have not done correctly, and try not to repeat the same mistakes, because those lessons from the past are gifts to you so that you can know exactly what to do and what not to do in this time. This is the reminder that you have been through challenge more than once, that you have learned more than one lesson, and that now it's the time to look back and learn from that lessons and not fall into the same mistakes. As I was saying in the beginning of the video, this is just a general reading, and if you want to book a private consultation with me, you can always do it through the link that I am going to leave down below of the video, in which you can have access to the different types of readings that I am offering. You can also have access to the Christmas promo reading. It is only $25 to speak about a specific topic, and you can have access to this through the link that I am going to leave down below. This is going to be active till the 31st of December. Besides that, I am really near from reaching the 10,000 subscribers, and I'm really thankful to you all for sharing, liking, subscribing to my channel. I'm going to be shooting a separate video in which I'm going to be explaining the guidelines to participate in the new contest that I am going to be launching when I reach the 10,000 subscribers. So you can subscribe to my channel, you can click on the alerts so that you can receive a notification when the new video is up. And besides that, thank you so very much for liking, for sharing, for the comments, and for all the support that you have shown me since I began shooting the videos. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, a very happy new year, and I see you next month in the tarot scopes for the month of January in regards to love. Goodbye. Thanks.